What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Altknots. It's gonna be a great day today. I have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff that I didn't plan for at all today, but things change. And the universe sometimes pushes you in a direction that you have no idea that you're gonna go. Starting with this morning when I randomly decided, let's go out for breakfast. I normally don't do that because I like having my coffee in my house the way that I like it, and I make a little breakfast, get ready, do a little meditation, work out, then get into the yarn dungeon and crochet. No, this morning, the universe kicked me out of the yarn dungeon. I'm not even lying, just like pushed me out of the yarn dungeon and said, you know what? It's not just for breakfast. There's more coming. You need to get out of the yarn dungeon right this second. Went out, had some breakfast, and right next to it was a Barnes & Nobles, which I like to go to on occasion because they have some crochet books and some really, really good ones. And every once in a while, as the season changes, there'll be 2 or 3 new crochet books here, some crochet journals, which I'm a really big fan of as well. So I just popped in, grabbed another coffee first, and immediately headed back to the crochet section, which I think is called Crafts and Hobby. I don't know. It's crochet section to me though. Saw this witchy purple box sticking out and thought, that's weird. That looks kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas type of purple. Got a little bit closer and yeah, I was right. It was Nightmare Before Christmas and this is what I saw. Say less. Did not even need to pull it off the shelf to know that this is what I'm doing for the day. This is why I went out for breakfast this morning. Okay, what is this? Backtrack. What is it? Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas in crochet form. It's an entire kit that comes with a crochet book and enough supplies, including the yarn and crochet hook in order to make Jack and Sally. I think it's a good idea that they chose Jack and Sally, being as they're the main characters. Good call on their part, but really we have Oogie Boogie, Lock, Stock, and Barrel. We have the doctor on the side. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, the mayor on the side. Yes, I am obsessed with the mayor's hat, so this needs to get done immediately. It includes instructions to scare up 12 iconic characters. Oh, zeros on there. We have Santa Claus and Christmas Jack. Then also a wall hanging. So not only do you get all of the instructions for these amazing stuffies that you can go ahead and use as decor, but there is actual wall decor as well, which is just the classic end scene. How can you not be excited for this? I'm just beyond excited. Had to ride with this in the car, just like a kid that got a brand new toy from the store, sitting in the front like, come on, let's get home. I gotta open this up. I wanna see everything that's in here. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's get into it. I feel like I have to keep this box for a little bit, at least as I'm creating them all. It's way too cute in and of itself. Carefully opening it, not to ruin it. Fantastic. This is perfect stuffy making yarn. I can already tell it's really, really tightly wound type of yarn, which is what you want for stuffy making. Otherwise, it's gonna be difficult if it's fluffy and soft and everything. There is a lot of yarn. Two nice and really sharp needles, a little bit of thread. I don't know that this would be enough to get both of them done, but hopefully, it said it should. We'll see. Probably the best part is the book, which will definitely be put on my shelf even when I'm not using this. Nightmare Before Christmas crochet. Okay, adorable. It's a nice cardboard style book, which isn't necessary, but if you want to take this traveling and throw this in a Notion bag and work on this on the road, it's a nice touch. The hook, pull this out to get the hook. Wow, okay, there's more underneath here. I don't know where I thought all the other stuff would be. We have the stuffing to actually fill up the 2 plushies. Remember, it's just Jack and Sally. I'm assuming the hands, definitely for Jack, maybe for Sally. 2 pieces of felt. Okay, they're cut to certain sizes, so yes, I would assume it's for both of them. Arms and legs. Box to contain everything. Okay, this is adorable too. Jack skeleton all over it. See the size of the crochet hook? This is in here real snug like. It is not going anywhere. There we go. 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. As far as stuffies go, I honestly thought it was gonna be a lot smaller. Just looking at how tiny these are, pleasantly happy that it's a 3.25 millimeter. Now the question, which one do I work up first? All 12 will eventually get done. I'm leaning towards Sally just because of the dress. The dress looks super fun to make. Probably the more intricate out of the two of them that I have to choose from, but why not? Let's do it. That's the first one that came to mind. We have everything except for coffee. Need to grab more of that, then we're good. Super necessary to cake all of this up. I just know that I'm gonna be happier working with it in little cake versions. This yarn that's gonna be used for a jack skeleton is super, super soft. The white is not quite as soft, but genuinely still soft. These that are gonna be used for Sally are very starchy. So I don't know if it's because there's a lot of patches and you have to get them all together. Maybe that's why, or just the type of yarn. I don't know, just observations. That's the last mini hank. Here's these two colors, and I'm not gonna cake these up at all for obvious reasons. I'm just gonna use a yarn bowl, plop it in there when I'm ready to actually attack these, but they're very loosely wound together. It seems like it's gonna go around on the outside and then just fall apart. So a yarn bowl is definitely gonna be necessary. I am gonna use my own hook just for the fact that I've been crocheting long enough. I know myself, and I know if I don't use the ergonomic style hook, my hands are gonna get sore, I'm gonna slow up, not gonna be able to power through it as quick as I want to. It's awesome that it comes with a hook, but this one for me is definitely gonna be donated. Just remembered that I actually have Nightmare Before Christmas stitch markers. No better time to use these. I'm relatively new to doing stuffies and plushies, so an invisible decrease is something that I have never done before, but it makes so much sense now that I've actually done it. It looks gorgeous. Just look at that huge difference from the invisible seam. Honestly, that was totally worth the book in and of itself. It's completely changed my stuffy game. The yarn that they're suggesting to use for pretty much all of the characters is paint box yarn. This is a brand that I've never used before. That's what came with the kit. All the yarn for Jack and Sally is paint box cotton DK. Yes, cotton DK. The one thing that I am noticing is that there is a lot of variation when it comes to the elasticity of the yarn. This one, for instance, is the teal, and it's really, really stretchy. And then go all the way over to the mauve. Without me even doing anything, you can tell it's a lot stiffer. Someone like me, who naturally my tension is just not very tight, I had to make a very big conscious effort when I was using the black and the teal to make sure that my stitches were the same size as the other colors. So like the yellow and the mauve are pretty similar, and then the teal and the black are very similar. They just felt thinner as well when I was working them up. It's not a bad thing, it's just something that I'm noticing. Just for an example, So we have the sleeve part of Sally's dress. One was the yellow and one was the teal, and they were like, this is a lot stiffer, this has a lot more stretch to it. I actually had to make this one over a couple times, I think about 3 times. And it's still not even exactly perfect. You can see that this one is a little bit smaller. It's not a huge difference. It's just something that I'm noticing. I have been done with Sally now for a couple of days, and here she is. Fantastic. The dress turned out so freaking killer. The colors are absolutely spot on. I don't even need to say anything more about that. I need to work on a little bit on the hair. I think I'm gonna do more than what it says, which just attach it to the front. I think I am gonna actually attach a couple of stitches in the back. Otherwise this piece moves around a little bit more than I want it to, but I do love how stiff it turned out. It looks like it has like a permanent breeze going through her hair. Obviously there is one major thing that I have not done to Sally yet, which is the face. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of held me up a little bit because it's just so Sally. Everyone knows the character, you know exactly how and what it's supposed to look like. I'm just a little terrified of cutting out these tiny pieces of fabric for the eyes. I did keep one leg not fully attached either. That's why it looks a little wobbly compared to the other one. Just used the thread to attach it, then did a bow in the back. The reason being, when I set up my whole Nightmare Before Christmas village, I want to be able to like prop Sally up, take that part off every once in a while, change it up, and put it in Oogie Boogie's hand. But that's the only thing that I veered away from this pattern. And now it's time. Like, I have to do it. I just have to go for it. And it's terrifying because it just looks so good. I'm so happy with how it turned out so far. So I don't hate it. It's not perfect by any means. This is the very first time that I've ever embroidered anything. I had to look up quite a few things. I had no idea what a French knot was. They suggested doing that a bunch on the dress, the patchwork down here, to do a bunch of French knots. I didn't do that because the French knot was a little bit challenging for me, and it said it was supposed to be the easiest embroidery knot. Didn't really give me a lot of confidence. I didn't do any of the decor on the patchwork dress now that I'm thinking about it. There was embroidery also on the little mauve color here, did not do that, but that's okay. I like it exactly how it is. The face, it's not bad. You can tell it's definitely the very first time I've ever embroidered anything, but I'm okay with it. I am definitely gonna set it up. I'm not gonna redo it. There was a couple of, like, the eyelash part was definitely a little bit challenging for me, so I did end up redoing that. I had to buy some more embroidery floss. I can't remember the size, but I like this one a little bit better. It's more tightly wound and it's not as fluffy as the stuff that came with the entire kit. I did end up not weaving in a bunch of my ends on purpose. Everything on her dress, on the legs, I ended up just cutting them really, really short. I double knotted them and then cut them short. I like the look of that. The hair looks so much better now that I actually did a piece down here. There's only one spot that you can see the actual black, but again, I'm totally fine with that. I honestly had a lot of fun making it. It is definitely more time consuming than I thought it was gonna be, and I already thought it was gonna take quite a while. It's a doll, there's lots of pieces. I knew that Sally was gonna be the most time consuming. I mean, just look at all of the parts. Every single thing was separate. I have full confidence that Jack, this is the one that I'm gonna do next, and I have full confidence this is gonna be a little bit easier, if only for the fact there's only 2 colors. But I had a lot of fun making it, and that's really honestly the main part of this. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if I was gonna actually enjoy the process. It does use a really tiny hook, or smaller hook than I'm used to using on the day-to-day. 3.25, yes, 3.25 millimeters, which for me is really, really tiny. I will say I was able to get it done within 1 day, but I don't think I'll do that again. I think I'm gonna break it up into a couple of days. There really is no time limit for me other than I wanna finish it by October. So October 1st, I guess there is a time limit. That's what I'm setting for myself. Even still, as long as I finish 1 a week from here until October, then I'll have it done. So expanding it in between a couple of days, I don't think I'm gonna run into problems. 1 down, 10 more characters to go, plus 1 wall hanging. Knowing what I know from my embroidery skills, I think I for sure am gonna go ahead and order the patch that I had in mind for this. I am definitely gonna want a backup. All right, goals, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you're as excited about this as I am, working my entire way through this. If you want to snag yours, make sure you go ahead and check out the link down below to get your own Nightmare Before Christmas crochet kit. That way you can work up the characters along with me and have your very own Nightmare Before Christmas crochet village. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for hanging out with me, working up my very own Sally plushie. Have a fantastically spooky day, and I will see you in my next video.